Hello, and welcome to Unsheathed with your hosts, Kyle Gold and Cam Hirosaki. We hope that you enjoy the program. Please stick around afterwards. There'll be cake and blowjobs.
Hi everyone, welcome to Unsheathed. This is actually canonical episode number 93. For about the past 4 episodes, we have lost our way in the desert of numbering, but Kit has shown us the light, calculated correctly all of the appropriate numbers, so the Further Confusion episode, which we called 89, is actually 90, and the episode we recorded in our bunker, which we called 90, is actually 91, and the episode at RMFC that we did not assign a number to because we realized that we had drifted so far away from the oasis of the last concretely known number that we did not care to venture a guess without a sextant or other, GPS device.
You said sextant.
I'm trying to work it into the conversation. It's part of this book that I found.
It was very successful of you.
Yes. Anyway, Kit has made all the calculations, led us forth unto the land of ordinal numbers again. So here we are at episode 93.
When you said
I am voice barely hanging on after a few days of a cold Kyle Gold.
And I'm very nerdy, Cam Hirosaki. For when you said, this is canonical episode number 93, and I was like, as opposed to deuterocanonical episode 93.
Well, I was thinking non-canonical episode 93, but why don't you explain?
This episode is non-canon.
Yes, it's fanon.
It's fanon. Does that mean like we end up sleeping with each other at some point?
No.
I think you already did that in Presents number 4.
No, we never sleep with each other.
Together in our fictions.
No, that would just be weird.
Would you explain what deuterocanonical is for our...
Oh, God.
The benefit of all of our listeners except the one who already knows.
Hold on. Before I mess up,
I will.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to pull up the actual definition because I know if I try to explain it, like I know what it means, but if I try to...
All right, well, while you're doing that, I'm going to tell people what we're going to be talking about this episode. We have both returned from separate conventions. The last convention we attended together was Rocky Mountain Fur Con, and we did a show there, so we don't have to catch you up on that. But KM attended Camp Farrell for the second consecutive year.
I did.
I attended Worldcon for technically the third time, but really the first time as an engaged participant. And we will...
Not one of the unwashed masses.
We will be... Well, yeah, I'll talk about my other Worldcon experiences. We will talk about our conventions. We will talk about the things that we are working on, as we always do, because we are always working. Busy little paws. Idle paws are the devil's playground.
Yes.
Or in my case, or in our cases, busy paws are also the devil's playground. But
depends on what they're playing with.
Well, yes. And then
God.
We will be talking about our convention schedule. I believe we actually have one more convention this calendar year that we will be attending together and recording an episode at.
Yes, we will.
And we will... That information coming later in the podcast.
Yes.
So why don't you provide the definition for people and then segue into your feral...
Yes, so basically deuterocanonical means that it is something that pertains to a second set of canon aside from the original set, which just makes me think of like Star Wars. Like the Star Wars expanded universe, like alongside like the films. Which I'm such a... Actually, Star Wars canon comes in different levels. There's G canon, T canon, C canon, S canon. Like they all have different levels. It is messed up.
They should assign gauges to them. So like
double OG
12 gauge cannon, a 12-incher, a 36-incher.
Wow. I don't want to think about that with Star Wars. I don't. It's a separate part of my brain. It's a separate part of my life. Not everything has to be about sex.
In relation to you thinking about Star Wars, I was thinking about something Dave Barry wrote once where they said they did a study and they found out that teenage boys exposed to rock music thought about sex every 10 seconds. But then Dave Barry said, of course, if you had exposed the teenage boys to the outside or golf or anything, they would still be thinking about sex every 10 seconds. Yeah. So I was going to say that's like you, except with Star Wars.
It's been a pretty Star Wars heavy day for me, which is funny because a lot of it was spent doing things that didn't have anything to do with Star Wars. I guess
That
it just
doesn't
means
make
it's a
any sense.
typical day for me.
It was a Star Wars heavy day, except for all the stuff that didn't have anything to do with Star Wars.
I had a comment, but it's just really gross, so I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, tell people about Camp Farrell. Is it still awesome?
It is still awesome. Canada's a great country. If you've ever been there, you should totally go. No matter what anyone makes fun of, things like, like poutine and their money, those are actually both better than what we have in the States. They have new $50 bills in Canada now. They're made out of plastic.
See, the problem is that poutine is not better than traditional cheese fries, but you can't get traditional cheese fries out here, so...
See, I disagree. I like poutine a lot.
Yeah, but you haven't had traditional cheese fries.
Like, have I? No. I mean, you know where I'm from, but...
Uh-huh. No, you haven't.
No? Okay. I did have, cheese fries at the Outback about 2 days after I moved back to the U.S. from Japan.
No.
And I was
it has
sick
to
for
be-
a day and a half.
No, they have to be from somewhere that serves food, first of all.
Oh, yeah, well, that was my first mistake.
The last time I went to the Outback, I think they brought a pork chop or something, and it was raw inside, and I sent it back, and they brought it back, microwaved, and part of it was still raw. And so I just ate around it.
Gordon Ramsay would be so upset.
I was upset. Anyone would be upset. Except maybe an actual wolf or fox or someone who doesn't mind
Look at
raw
this.
meat.
Touch that. Stone cold.
Possibility of trichinosis, which isn't really a thing anymore, but I
I remember that was basically it was because things just weren't clean and not because of...
Well, yeah, I mean, you know what trichinosis is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Worms. Mm-hmm. So tell us about Farrell. Speaking of worms.
Yes.
Focus, boys.
Farrell was cool. They their theme this year was sort of this retro future camp, which is basically if you had rediscovered this old 50s sitcom kind of deal. But they had some good incorporation of the theme this year. It's cool because they changed the logos for their hoodie, and actually they had a new flag this year too.
Did you get a hoodie this time?
I did get a hoodie.
What's the logo on the back?
It's sort of got that old kind of Rutherford Atom model, but at the middle it's got the Canadian maple leaf. It looks pretty cool, actually.
The Farrell hoodies are sweet.
They are.
I recommend that.
Farrell does some cool stuff.
I also noticed that you seem to have gotten a little bit of a claw work there.
Yeah, I've actually, thanks to Farrell staffer Nao, who done did my nails one of the days, I sort of rediscovered my enjoyment of painting my claws all pretty. So these aren't still my Farrell nails. Those are old and busted before I left the country, girl. I don't want to prick a nail or sweat.
There we are.
There we are. But no, what else? I did some singing at the musician circle, but it was after they had stopped recording it, so unfortunately you probably won't get to see that anywhere. I ran some writing workshops, which were a lot of fun.
Cool.
Actually, I got really good attendance this year, which surprised me. It intimidated me at first, but it went better than last year when I was actually supposedly supposed to be really important. But no, I think I got good feedback on the workshops. So if you go to Camp Farrell again, you will probably have a chance to be in one of those workshops by me, since I'm pretty sure I'm on permanent go-to duty for, hey, we want somebody to do a writing workshop. We're going to ask you.
You hear it here, 2013.
Yeah. No, I'm planning on going again.
Hirosaki.
I'm planning on going again. I'm planning on going pretty much whenever I can. It's a whole lot of fun. It's my favorite thing to do, and not just as far as conventions go, but just at all. I have an unreasonable amount of fun there.
It is quite awesome. We're hoping to go back too. Have they announced the dates for next year yet?
They said they're 99% sure that they'll be the same weekend they were this year,
Which would make it doable to go to Farrell and Worldcon. It would
Possible.
just make it.
Worldcon was an amazing experience.
Tricky.
So, segue.
Well, real quick though, for big Farrell news, they actually built a new building next to Teepee Heights called the Rustic Lodge.
When you say they, I just want to clarify, you don't mean the Farrell staff.
Oh no,
You mean
so it's held
Camp Erewhon.
Yes, Camp Erewhon, which is where the camp is held. Camp Erewhon has
We're
a
going
new
to have
building.
a theater raising.
Yeah, no, but they did. They had it's a new theater building, and
What did they do there?
They did the cabin skits there, and they had their dances there.
Oh, so it's bigger than their previous kind of.
Oh,
building.
like you're not crammed into teepee heights anymore. You're actually in like a building that has a large floor and ventilation for the dance.
Wow.
So yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, it's pretty
That's really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. And it's got like a stage and lots of open space. So that's pretty neat. And let's see what else. We saw beavers, but not otters. No otters. We thought there was an otter, but it was a beaver.
I'm not going to try to translate that.
It was the big rudder tail or
Well, we had the
paddle tail.
well, no, because when you just see it swimming in the lake from like a couple 100 feet away, you just see this little mammal head floating, and you can't tell which one that is.
It doesn't do it with the big buck teeth like above the water.
You can't see the teeth from that far away. You just see
I
a
think they
stubby-eared mammal head.
I think they swim different.
Well, yeah, but if you don't normally see both otters and
I
beavers in
think
the
otters
wild,
are like backstroke, right?
not river otters. That's sea otters float on their back.
All right. Well, that was cool. Anyway,
Wildlife.
beavers in the wild.
Yeah.
Nice beaver.
And we know you don't see many beavers
Thanks,
in the
I
wild.
stopped it myself. Yeah, gray muzzle moment.
Yes, no kidding. Good old Priscilla Presley.
Ah, I feel old. Said the
so-
youngest person in the room.
So Kit and I went to WorldCon, also known as the World Science Fiction and Fantasy Convention, also known this year as ChiCon 7 because it was held in Chicago.
Chicago.
It was
ChiCon 7 sounds sinister.
It was.
Like, we've had to upgrade to ChiCon 7.
They filled it with
Yes.
humidity.
Yeah, it was muggy. It was like 90 degrees and muggy the whole time. It was pretty grim. So this was technically our third WorldCon. We went to the Millennium PhilCon in 2000 and went to the last day, which was like the Labor Day, and there was basically nothing going on.
I think we went to the George R.R. Martin reading of whichever book he had published at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Number 4, I think. Or no, he had just published 3, and he had not published 4 yet. Something like that.
And 4 just came out last year, so that was 11 years, basically, right?
He took a lot of time between.
Yeah, he did. And then we went to Con Jose in 2002, and there we were actually sitting with some people trying to sell some books, and I did not have books out at that time, so I still felt kind of
in the before time.
yeah, it was in the before time. But I still felt kind of like, I don't understand what's going on here. It's all these amazing authors and
What's happening?
yeah, kind of like that. And we went to a couple panels and didn't quite get it. Didn't feel really part of the community there. This year in Chicago, Sofa Wolf went because Ursula Vernon was nominated for a Hugo. Spoiler: she won.
Woo!
Which was no question the most awesome moment of the con is someone winning a Hugo, and all of our association with Sofa Wolf now we can call them the Hugo winning publisher.
Furry publisher winning a Hugo.
Yep, and Ursula,
Furry fandom's own Hugo Award-winning creator.
Ursula,
And she is guest of honor at FC this year, 2013.
Ursula will be at Further Confusion.
Oh,
She won for her comic Digger. And Digger is wonderful, and everyone should read it.
It is really good.
You will be able to get it at Further Confusion. But it was cool. So we had the Sofa Wolf guys there. They had a booth because they wanted to be able to sell Digger because it was nominated for a Hugo, and everyone wanted to buy it. And then more people wanted to buy it after it won, of course. But also, the last few years, I've gotten to know more people in the general science fiction and fantasy community. I've talked to a bunch of authors, really just made more friends kind of outside the fandom as part of I'm not looking to, how did we put it? We're not looking to move beyond the fandom. I'm looking to just expand the number of people reading my stuff. And so I don't want to leave the fandom. I want to keep writing for furry fandom, forever, basically. But I also would like to get more people to pick up my books, because then it makes it easier for me to make a living as a writer.
Yeah. We were talking to the SoFolf staff, and basically, it's not that they're going to leave furry at all. I mean, furry is awesome, and it's kind
if you're listening to this podcast, chances are you agree with that sentiment.
Exactly. And as Tegan has said in the past, it's like we want to basically increase the audience to furry. So being at these conventions allows SoFolf, when we were talking to these guys, it's like, no, this is a chance for us to like show to people, the fact is these are really awesome stories with awesome artwork. You need to pay attention to us.
Right. And I think that with all of the amazing stuff furry's creating, there's definitely the potential for an audience that is not furry themselves but can appreciate the art and stories to be drawn to them, to become fans.
I mean, we've seen demonstrably on a smaller scale by having non-furries read our stuff, and they're fine with it by and large, I would say.
And enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I keep going back to Out of Position winning the Gay Romance Award in 2009. I mean, that was a completely non-furry award, and I get more reviews of that say, I expected this to be weird, or I didn't know if I was going to be able to deal with the concept of animals, but they're just people, and the story is great, and it draws you in. And I've brought people into the fandom, but I also have fans who just are like, no, I just like the story.
And you're actually guest of honor at Gay Lexicon, which is a non-furry con.
I will be
focusing in October, I believe.
You can hear my voice starting to fade out here.
Do your Lauren Bacall voice.
Oh, you know it, baby.
Kind of turned on right there.
I was going to you beat me to it, but I mean, if one of us is going to say it, it should hopefully be you.
We should wrap this up quickly.
Okay. Anyway, Worldcon was great. I actually was on several panels. I did 2 panels about furry. One was in writing for the fandom. One was in about history of furry literature, which I would like to talk more about on an Unsheathed episode at some point, because I think a lot of our fans now don't really know the history of furry literature. And I'd been thinking initially when I went in that I was going to just talk about the names. Paul Kidd, Watts Martin, those people, and Fred early on, although he didn't create literature so much as facilitate
he was still a key figure.
But I found actually that what I was more interested in was the process, how the fandom's literary tradition went from a bunch of people sitting in a hotel room saying, hey, we all kind of like cartoon animals, we should tell some stories with it, to them sending their stories around to each other, and this was before the internet, to an amateur press alliance or amateur press association, the APAs, Raoul Brazel and Voody and Huzzah, and how that transitioned. How that transitioned into fanzines. Like Huzzah was actually an APA that went up for sale. Yarf was the big fanzine forever, and how that's transitioned into actually semi-pro zines. You've got SoFolf's the only one doing them in zine format right now, really, but Fur Planet does books of Fang and Roar, which kind of count.
What would you put like Tales of the Taipan under?
Taipan is still an APA. I'm not sure those are. I asked about that. I believe they're available to outsiders, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
So, anyway, yes, as Kit mentioned, trying to segue me off this topic. Anyway, Worldcon is fun. The next one is in San Antonio, and we are already scheming to try to get some of our Dallas friends down there to attend and kind of see what it's all about. Because, there are people who only like furry, but if you like science fiction and fantasy in addition to furry, there's a lot there. And there's some amazing authors.
Just good stories.
Or if you just good stories.
Which I'd like to think most of us do.
And I have more to say about the stories I picked up there. But anyway, as Kit mentioned, I'm going to be a guest of honor at Gay Lexicon, which is the first weekend of October. I'm also going to be a guest of honor at OklaCon, which is the third weekend in October.
So for the Gay Lexicon, which is in Minneapolis, St. Paul, I believe, we would love to have a huge furry presence there.
Yes.
So come, swarm. SoFolf, I believe SoFolf will be there, so they'll be showing some of their
stuff. SoFolf is also a guest of the con.
And
Fur Planet will also be there.
Fur Planet will be there, so we already have some furries. And I believe, I know we met one of the other guests of honors at Worldcon.
Yes.
And she was super cool.
She is.
And you have a chance to experience perhaps a reading of a couple fanfics where Ida Morehouse or Lida Morehouse will be orchestrating different portions of the audience to say things like
she's
penis
too embarrassed.
or
She's too embarrassed to read certain
male
words
or,
from her own fanfic.
Yes, it's going to be awesome. So
And
any
she
furries
wants-
in the area or around there, go.
She wanted, actually I have to contact her about this because she wanted to do a midnight reading because it was going to be an adult fanfic, and she wanted to know if I had any fanfics that I could read also. And the only one that I could think of is my old Lunatics fan fiction. So I
remember reading drafts of those on commuter flights.
I may
was on business
be
trips.
doing a out loud reading of those. I'll have to go back and read them and figure out which one would work best.
I don't know, Tech Coyote.
I love doing Rev's voice.
Oh my god! Wow,
Rev is so awesome.
So
Anyway,
Gay
Galaxicon's
Lexicon's
gonna be a
going
lot
to be a
of fun.
blast. So any of you furries out there listening, try to make it.
I almost wish I could go now.
And let's see. And then I'll be guest of honor at Oaklecon. I think all their cabins are full, or all their tent space is sold out. I think I saw that.
Okay.
But you can still stay at the nearby hotel. It is an outdoor con, much like Feral. I am looking forward to this. It is 5 days, though, where Feral's 3. It
Feral's
starts
5. If you count the day you arrive and the day you leave, Feral's also 5.
Well, that's true. So theirs goes like Wednesday through Monday or something crazy like that.
Yeah, because Feral goes Thursday through Monday, or went Thursday through Monday this year, I think.
So that's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to that one too. And lastly, but not leastly, KM and I and Kit will all be at Rainforest, which is the last weekend of September, and on Thursday, September 27th at 9 p.m., I will be releasing my new cupcake novella titled Winter Games, with art by the amazing, lovely, talented, and, did I mention amazing? Sabretooth Thurman.
Sabretooth Thurman's pretty great. She transformed other me.
She is...
It's pretty great.
She is very cool. She is actually has been way more professional and wonderful to work with than I could have hoped. When you contract with an artist for the first time, you're doing it based on the quality of the art, and that certainly met and exceeded my expectations. In her case, I was lucky enough because she wants to start getting into doing more detailed artistic commissions for people, and so she kind of used the cover as a way to showcase that, where she said, I'm getting paid to do this, so I'm going to make it really, really nice so that I can use it as an example to show people, okay, this is the kind of thing I can do for more money. So, but she did an amazing job on the cover. The cover is gorgeous. All the interior art is gorgeous, and she was fun and responsive and just a real joy to work with. So please come to the release party, 9 p.m. Thursday at Rainforest. Specific location to be determined, but it will be somewhere in the convention center, probably.
Follow your Twitter feed.
Yeah, follow my Twitter feed or Rainforest Twitter feed, or get the Rainforest programming grid or something, or just I'll announce where it is on that Thursday. So if you're in the area, you'll be able to figure it out.
And we do hope to have a Unsheathed episode up there as well.
And I believe we have a time slot in the programming for an Unsheathed episode. If not, we'll just do it ghetto like we always do.
Real quick, just talking about Winter Games really quick. I as a little bit of a promo boost, I think Winter Games is really great. It's actually one of my favorite things by you. I think you've done. It's in the top 3 at least. I don't know quite where it falls in the top 3, but I would put it up there.
Hey, thank you.
But
even the new draft.
Even the new draft. I mean,
you're supposed to say the new draft is better.
No, what I was going to say is nothing can compare to the magic of having read it the first time, but
right.
The new draft is, I mean, you made a lot of improvements, and I really liked what you did with a lot of it.
Well, thank you.
Yes, Kyle can attest that I read it on a plane, and like the moment I landed, I like barraged him with text messages like, "Oh my god, I love your story.
He did.
I love your coyote."
Yes. I love him too. I'm glad he got.
He's adorable.
He and Sierra have been kicking around for a few years, and I'm glad they finally got a story.
Yeah,
that hopefully does them justice. And there will be more, I think.
There will be.
But yeah, so for my stuff, speaking of guest of honorships, this is a little bit of a ways out, but Other Me is going to be guest of honor at Condition Wasteland in London, Ontario in 2013. So if you want to wait 11 months,
Awesome.
that'll be a thing.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Yes, I got to talk to a lot of the Condition staff at Feral, and they're all really excited to have Other Me. So,
Excellent. Good to hear.
and let's see, I'm going to be at Midwest Fur Fest later this year as well. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing panel-wise. They actually just reached out to me yesterday to ask me about panels. I'm a little lost without Kyle, but I'm like, well,
Yeah, sorry.
I'll have to start thinking about who I want to do panels with. We have
Yeah.
a few things that we normally traditionally did, and now that we can't. But
Yes.
I'll figure something out. But I'll at least be there if you want to buy me a drink. I certainly won't turn that down.
We
Especially just because Chicago makes me want to drink a lot.
yes.
It's a difficult city.
It was not better during the summer.
No, I can imagine that the weather is much more. Well, I'd hesitate to call November in Chicago clement.
Yeah. no.
Mostly just windy and cold.
It's yeah, and Kit and I cannot go to Midwest Fur Fest this year because
Because
Oh, can you say now? Oh,
the
yes.
weekend. Well, they announced it on Twitter.
Oh.
So it's out.
Thanks, Twitter.
The weekend after Midwest Fur Fest, we are going to be flying to
where?
a land down under.
Do I need to have Vegemite?
I think we will have to have a Vegemite sandwich at some point.
I'm not happy about that.
Yes, we're going to Australia. We're going to spend about a week in Sydney, and I hope to meet up with some of my Sydney fans during that week. That'll be the last week of November. And then right around the time November slides into December, we are going to slide down the coast to Melbourne. And we will be in Melbourne till December 10th, basically through Midfur. So we're going to be attending Midfur. We are working right now to get some of my books down there to sell. I will definitely be sitting around signing books, possibly doing some panels, possibly doing some other stuff. I understand you ride kangaroos around and
But you do them on the left side of the road.
play with koalas. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen there.
My big goal is to survive.
You make furniture
Honestly,
out of milk crates.
it is-
Avoid all the
I hear
poisonous
it's the
things.
most poisonous
not-
land in the planet.
It is not a good country for someone who does not like spiders.
I'll admit I'm a little bit nervous about the whole down under thing.
Yes.
I do want to.
Are you
It's
worried
going to be
we'll fall
summer.
off?
I'm
Yeah.
not falling off. I'm mostly worried about all the things that want to kill me there.
Yes. I will keep you safe as best I can.
All right.
And my goal is to see a platypus in the wild.
But they want to kill you too. They have like poisonous spines.
Yeah,
I
but
think.
they don't run fast. They waddle like ducks.
You've not seen me run.
Don't know what to say to that.
I'm looking forward to hanging out with Dark Natasha, who we have had a chance to kind of hang out with at Rocky Mountain Fur Con.
She will be the
She
guest
is
of
going to
honor.
be one of the guest of honors.
Yep.
Oh, awesome.
Unfortunately,
I hadn't heard about
unfortunately, Blotch was not able to make it. But the backup is Dark Natasha.
Dark Natasha,
That would be
which
awesome.
is-
and I'm hoping her boyfriend or a husband actually
yeah.
will be there. That would be cool.
So, yes, we are looking forward to hanging out with Dark Natasha and all of you wonderful Australian fans and furs down at Midfur. We are looking forward to hanging out with all of the Oklahoma and some of our good Texas buddies at OklaCon.
Kit Silver likes beer.
Kit does like beer.
Kid Silver does like beer. Kid Silver likes.
I wrote a
like
cool
Australian beer.
I wrote a cool B-movie horror story for the con book for OklaCon. So if you guys go to the con, you should check that out. It's totally worth it. I also wrote a 14,000 word story for the Gay Lexicon chap book, which made them write back to me and say, we were just going to do a little thing. And I said, do you need me to write something else? And they came back a week later and said, no, we'll just make it bigger. So there you go. Kyle Gold, making fandom bigger. Making it bigger.
You and
That's
your
all I'll
size
say.
issues. But yeah, so that's been good to get caught up. Just in case you're not caught up, just really quick, over the summer, I did a thing where I wrote short stories every week all summer, mostly. But I got 11 short stories out between mid-June and the beginning of September.
Awesome.
And
Excellent.
some of them were even good.
I liked all the ones that were in. And also, because we're going to be traveling so much, we're not sure when we will do more bunker-produced episodes. But KM and I have been irregularly on Mondays, as announced on our Twitter feeds, doing live-streamed episodes of Unsheathed, in which we actually get people to show up and we answer questions in real time.
Yes. Pay attention to when we announce those, by the way, because people ask, oh, like, when are you going to know when you're going to do them? And we usually don't know until either that day or the day before. So pay attention to Twitter.
Pay
Right.
attention.
So, yes, follow KM's Twitter feed or my Twitter feed.
And
And
what are those-
we retweet each other when it comes to those things. So.
What are those Twitter feeds?
At Cam Hirosaki.
at Kyle Gold.
We're so easy to find. Oh my god.
Yes, I know. You would think. But anyway, we're going to wrap this up because I don't know how much longer I could actually keep talking. So, in deference to that,
And I have run out of wine, which means I'm done here.
PDX. Thank you for the fan that dropped us off the bottle of PDX wine.
PDX, which was from Chester County, Pennsylvania, apparently.
Shouts.
weirdly enough, because that's the airport code for Portland.
Oh, what? What?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Send us an email
This doesn't make
explaining
any
that to us.
sense. Now I'm more confused than ever.
Utter mind blown.
Oh, God.
All right.
How do you get
I'm-
hold of you guys?
You can always reach. I don't know. How do people get? No, don't get hold of us.
Don't look for me. We'll find you.
My website is kylegold.com. It has contact information there. If you want to email me, it's kyle@kylegold.com. If you want to, what do people use? I'm Kyle Gold on Facebook. I'm Kyle Gold on LiveJournal. I'm Kyle on Furfinity whenever that comes back up.
Yeah, for
and on
me-
So Furry.
For me, go to a website. If there's a Cam Hirosaki there, it's me. If there's not a Cam Hirosaki there, then I'm not on that website.
This is a website. Old
Thank you
school.
for calling Cam Hirosaki. And this is my website.
All right.
Strong bad? Awesome.
Yeah.
I
Bringing
know.
it back.
Way old school.
Kicking it old school.
Nice.
Anyway.
Oh man,
thank you.
I wish I could do limousine at karaoke.
Limousine.
We're from the band limousine. Oh god, is it sad that made me have a great muzzle moment? People are like, what's Homestar? What's Strong Bad? Like, oh my
Oh,
god.
jeez.
Stop being 18.
I will in a year. All right. And we will leave you with that. I'm Kyle Gold,
I'm Cam Hirosaki and I've missed this.
and keep writing.